are thy tabernacles, O I am of hosts. My soul longeth, yea, even fainteth for the courts of the I am. My heart and my flesh crieth out for the living God. Yea, the sparrow hath found an house, and the swallow a nest for herself, where she may lay her young, even thine altars, O I am that I am of hosts, my King and my God. Blessed are they that dwell in thy house. They will be still praising thee, Selah. Blessed is the man whose strength is in thee, in whose heart are the ways of them, who's passing through the valleys of Baca, making it well, the rain also filleth the pools. They go from strength to strength, every one of them in Zion appeareth before the I am. O Yahuwah, God of hosts, hear my prayer. Give ear, O Yahuwah of Jacob, Selah. Behold, O Yahweh, our shield, and look upon the face of thine anointed. For a day in the courts is better than 1,000. I had rather be a doorkeeper in the house of my God than to dwell in the tents of wickedness. For the I am is a sun and shield. The I am will give grace or favor and glory. No good thing will he hold from them that walk uprightly. O Yahweh of hosts, blessed is the man that trusteth in thee. Psalms chapter 84. Deliver me from the hands of evil spirits who have swayed the thoughts of men's hearts, and let them not lead me astray from thee, my God. Establish thou me in my seed, that we go not astray henceforth and forevermore. Yes, Jubilees chapter 12 and verse 20. Oh, yes, all praises, hallelujah. Glory to the King of kings, the host of hosts. Yes, even he who possesses all time and matter, who created all things. We thank God for his mercy and his favor. Yes, we do. And for those of us who keep his commandments, statutes, and ordinances, as we can, especially those commandments, at this day and time, until such time he should have us to keep the rest, that we just give him praise and obey those things with all urgency. I'm talking about the Sabbath, not putting any other idols before him, not even going to the point where we defraud our neighbor or that we begin to bear false witness, yes, or commit adultery. These things are simple. They're there. They're already inbred in us. We don't want nobody doing these things to us. Why should we do it to them? Yes. And the fact is that we still see God is still moving throughout the land. He's putting down this global power. He's pulling it down, the regimes that have held the world captive for a long time. They fight. But a losing battle, it seems as though they're battling and continue to fight. The reasons they have really are reasons that God has put in play, because God works many times through the circumstances of men. In other words, there's devils, there's angelic beings of God, messenger beings of God that mess with the minds of these men. That's why Abraham said, deliver me from the hands or the evil spirits who have swayed the thoughts of men's hearts. To think an evil thought that men should be erased, or only my color or my lineage should live, and we should build big bombs to get rid of the rest of the world. We should delete the rest of the world and then only us live, then will be only us. Do you not know God looks at you in derision? Fool! God would say, your spouse or that lady you lay with after you deleted all the world, God can turn it around till that baby comes out what you didn't desire. Fool! You delete the whole world, but God create one little virus that just wipes you out no matter how you try to keep yourself clean. Fool! Create robots and robots and robots. But you forgot the ghost in the machines. God can make a malfunction and turn against you. See, the fact is that man thinks he's got one thing on God. But God, he watches the world. Even the second Psalm says, why do the heathen rage? And the nations, the kings imagine a vain thing. Second Psalms, yes, that's where I'm coming from. I'm not going to quote it right because I don't remember it good. But he says, why do the heathen rage? Why is there rage toward another people? You said, let us cut their bands asunder. Let us cast them away from us. We don't want the rest of the world, especially the children of Jacob. We don't want them because they are not what we thought they should be. Let's set them up to the world. See, you can't set people up against God because God knows those people. He knows you. He knows your heart. Your intentions is what I mean. He knows those things. And he knows what is causing those things. The same scenario as they did with Eve. If I should get rid of these people, I shall be God. I shall be supreme. I will have to bear just the shame that I have to face with these people every day. And that I know that I am now more better than they are. But I want to be, so I'm going to be the God. See, these devils know how, they got the same scenarios they did with Eve, so to speak. The same formula. And it works every time upon those who will not keep the commandments, statutes, ordinances of the Most High. And these things can be very, very pressing upon a person. Even the most strong pressing. Even David, who laid with a man and had him killed, they put such a strong desire on him that he could not resist. Although he had all those pretty wives and shapely and everything else and dark and light or whatever you want to call it. But he couldn't resist. And therefore, because of that, it brought, through his seed, Israel was brought to nothing. Yes. Now, we're in the book of 2 Samuel. 2 Samuel, yes, 2 Samuel. 2 Kings, Samuel. In the book of 2 Kings, Samuel was a very good book. Yes, I enjoyed those stories, even as I enjoyed 2 Kings too. We're in 2 Kings chapter 7. 7. Now, we're in the ministry of Elisha. This is basically the service Elisha that God had him to do, to deal with the kings. Elisha was an angel. Angel means messenger. One who delivers a message, or, you can say Elijah was a mailman, or Elijah was one who relayed a message to the northern kingdom, the 10 tribes. Yes. And in verse 2 Kings chapter 7, Elijah said, hear ye the word of the I am. Thus said the I am, tomorrow on about this time a measure of fine flour be sold for a shekel, and 2 measures of barley for a shekel in the gates of Samaria. Now this is in northern Israel also. Now the fact is that Elisha, if we read the last chapter, we find out that there were women who ate their babies. The famine was so bad in this time. And it was caused by the people of, a lot of it was caused by those in the upper northern part. Yes, it was caused by them. It was caused by Syria. Yes. Yes, it was caused by Syria. The king of Syria, he did what God would have them to do for the northern kingdom, because they were idolatrous people. and still continue mixing those things with God. In other words, idols and God. This is what we do today. Christianity, Islam, and all the rest of the. You might say, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, we come from the New Testament. That New Testament ain't real. You might as well throw it out the window. It ain't going to save you one bit. Because let me tell you something. The New Testament, the Deuteronomy chapter 28 already discussed why was God angry with me. It wasn't because they killed Anisus. It was because not only did they renege on God all the way from the time that, should I say, Oshay, or Joshua as you call it, died, even unto today. It's not the fact, they initially did it. God already told them before Moses died, if you do this, this will happen. Whether good or bad, something is going to be, you're going to be rewarded for your evil, and you're going to be rewarded for your good. And they kept doing the evil. Even to this day, Jacob still does evil. Israel does evil. Running throughout the U.S., running throughout Africa, the 304s, the way you dress and tempt men. Oh, he's using women even very vehemently. Women hating their own seed they come from. Yes, the demons, the fallen spirits, angels, or whatever you want to call them, have ran havoc all over Jacob. And then he plagues him with an idle son. And now all kind of doctrines and excuses come out and telling you something, when the simple thing was that the commandments, statutes, and ordinances, the commandments, thou shalt not. And so we do. Jacob and Israel. I don't care how much you get into the history of, oh, this was black, that was this. That way with that. Look at what you're doing. Look at the people. Look at how we kill each other, how we manipulate, how we destroy, how we steal. And steal at the bottom of the barrel, being persecuted for stealing a $1 item. Being thrown in jail or executed. The hatred and the evil he put upon the other people. They don't even know why they do it. Oh, some say, oh, they don't look clean. Oh, this and that. And he's hidden us among the dark nations to the point where we don't even know who we are. Some of us, we are just plain old Hamite tribes. Some of us, we are plain old Shemites. And some of us, we're just plain old Japhites. Yes. Not Israel. But to him that would come, God is not going to reject. For he said, even the stranger, there shall be one law. But nevertheless, let's get into this. I can keep ranting on. But God be praised for all that he's done, even the I am that I am, according to the 5 books of Moses. Because he said, who shall I say sent thee? I am that I am. You say that, I sent you. Now, Elisha, and then the I am on whose hand the king leaned, answered the man of God and said, behold, if the I am would make windows in heaven, might this thing be? And he said, behold, thou shalt see it within thine eyes, but shalt not eat thereof. Now you're talking about the man who was under the king leaned and answered Elisha, doubting. If God tell you something and you sit up there and you doubt it, you just as worse as the men that doubt with you. Stay away from scary people, doubtful people. Your faith and your confidence in the Most High got to be of the utmost highest. You keep believing him till he just tells on himself. If God sit up there and don't do it, it means you ain't never heard from God. Period. But he said, shall this thing be? I can't see it happening in this amount of time. No, you can't see. God didn't give it to you to see. He gave it for the man to give you the message. That's it. He gave it to the man of God, the angel that be born of men. The messenger, is what I'm saying. For those of you who kind of get bumfickle. But either way, he said, behold, thou shalt see it. In other words, he stood on his confidence in the word of the Most High. Yes, his confidence. Not just faith, but confidence. There's a difference. One is stronger than the other. If I have confidence in something, I'm going to say it and I'm going to believe it and I'm going to stand on it. It just settled, period. Faith, my faith, whatever. We'll get going with your faith, whatever you want to call it. Take it and throw it in the trash or whatever. Confidence is a good word, strong word, very strong word. Okay, you have confidence in the Most High, and then you have to really stand on it. For there were 4 weapons. This is how God did it. There were 4 leprous men at the entering of the gates. And they said to one another, why sit we here until we die? If we say we will enter into the city, then the famine is in the city if we die there. If we sit here, we will die also. Now therefore come, let us fall unto the host of the Syrians. If they shall save us alive, we shall live, and if they kill us, we shall but die. In other words, we damned if we do and we're damned if we don't. Oh, glory to God. Excuse me. And they rose up in the twilight to go unto the camp of the Syrians. And when they were come to the uttermost parts of the camp of Syria, behold, there was no man there. For the I am had made the host of the Syrians to hear a noise of chariots, a noise of horses, even the noise of a great host. In other words, they heard noises that was not there, all of them. In other words, the spirits of the Most High got around and started tinkling things. Tinkle, tinkle, tinkle. Have you ever heard sounds and you never heard anybody around you? In other words, these men were looking, they were men of war, so what they were looking for was an opposition to come. Any sound would have alarmed them. But they heard noises but couldn't tell what the noises were. Now in today's armies, they probably would have shot in the area of the noise or whatever in that case, but you can't shoot a spirit. There is the wind. Spirit means wind. In other words, they have no substance when they don't want to have a substance. That's the power that God gives them. Now, there was nothing there to shoot at. There was nothing there to stab. There was nothing there to throw a spear or take a bow and arrow and just whatever you have to do, or a knife or a blade or a fist, or even to block with a shield. For the I am had made the host of the Syrians to hear the noise of chariots, the noise of hosts, the noise of a great host. And they said to one another, lo, he even filled their minds, spirits who have swayed over the thoughts of men's hearts. This is what's happening here. And they said one to another, lo, the king of Israel hath hired against us. The kings of the Hittites, the kings of the Egyptians come upon us. There's an enemy here. We can't see him. We don't know where he's at. Therefore they arose and fled in the twilight and left their tents and their horses and their asses, even the camp as it was, and fled for their life. In other words, even struck fear in their heart. Have you ever felt a spiritual fear in you? Where even the hairs of your head rose up and you felt like, I got to get out of here. Or you felt like somebody was after you sometimes. Sometimes there's nobody there. It's just the Spirit putting upon your mind. The spirit of the mind, as you heard. It's really true about the spirit of the mind. Because if you look at it, man is spirit. Man is brains. You have your brain, which is designed to receive from the spirit world. And receive from the body. And to communicate with the spirit world, and to communicate from the body into the body. See, the brain has a lot of things it can do, but yet the brain has to be taught. Yes. Well, we're not going to get into that. We're going to digress from that one. That is a very complicated. We'll find your best neurologist to give you a more detailed description of the brain. I can't do it. I can just say things in general. That's it. But They rose up in the twilight, they left. They were scared. Fear was upon them. For the Iam had made the host of the Syrians to hear the noise of the chariot, the horses, and great hosts. And it says, they thought the Egyptians, Hittites, and the king. And in verse 7, wherefore they arose and fled in the twilight and left their tents and their horses and their asses, even the camp as it was, and fled for their life. They were scared. They didn't care. I can trust my feet better than I can trust that horse. Yeah, all right now. Here we go again. And when these lepers came to the uttermost parts of the camp, they went into one tent and did eat and drink and carried thence and silver and gold and raiment and went and hid it and came again and entered into another tent and carried thence and also went and hid it. This is God. And see, here you got these lepers. They sit up there, yeah, drinking out of your golden cup. Let's have a toast. Two leprous boils on them. All leprosy is a very hideous disease, to put it that way. It's very hideous. But yet they lived and they were hungry and they ate. God fed them. Now it's time for them to be angels themselves. I'm putting an emphasis on angels because it means messenger. These leprous angels, they're men to deliver a message. The spirits that we're talking about are messenger spirits. They're angels. These words were made up in order and given definition. Yet they said one to another, we do not well this day is a day of good tidings, and we hold our peace. If we tarry till morning, light. But if some mischief come upon us, now therefore come that we may go and tell the king's household. And they came and called unto the porter of the city, and they told them, saying, we come into the camp of the Syrians, and behold, there was a man there, neither voice of a man, but forces tied, and asses tied, and tents as they were. And he called the porters, and they told it to the king's house within. And the king arose in the night and said to his servants, I will now show you what the Syrians have done to us. And they know that we be hungry. Therefore, they are gone out of the camp to hide themselves in the fields, saying, when they come out of the city, we shall catch them alive and get into the city. So the fact is, here is a fight. Here's a battle in spirits over the minds and hearts of men. You have those spirits that are of God and those spirits that oppose God, or the I am. Now, they're faced with a decision, whether we go or whether we don't go. So these really are the battles that are going on with you now. But the spirits that are oppose God are also contrary to the 10 Commandments. We're going to put the 10 Commandments for now, because the rest, we have to come into our land for that to be exacted, really. Most of it. But we can sacrifice here and there if we have the ability to. Because there was no sacrifice for you. There's no sacrifice for lambs and bullocks. God didn't never say he was going to substitute that. Oh, you said Isaiah 53. Wait till we get to that. But either way, he says, they took therefore 2 chariot horse kings after the host of Syrians, saying, go and see. And they went after them unto Jordan, and lo, all the way was full of garments and vessels, which the Syrians had cast away in haste. And the messengers returned and told the king, and the people went out and spoiled the tents of the Syrians, so that a measure of fine flour was sold for a shekel. That was a weight of money, shekel. 2 measures of barley for a shekel, a weight of money for a weight of barley. See, now you get nothing but an air dollar. Where's your dollar is no good, only in the United States, that's it. Eventually it's going to be just null and void. See, the Russians already been through that. And also other countries have too. Now, we have to really understand, you can talk about your crypto and all these other things, but you got another thing coming, my friend. It's going to hit you hard. The best thing that they could ever do is stock up on your gold, your silver. Even copper might even help you. And the king appointed the I am on whose hand he leaned to have the charge of the gate. And the people trod upon him in the gate, and he died. Didn't he tell the king you wasn't going to be able to partake of this? You're not going to have none of it. He said, you're not going to have none of it. The king of Israel, he told him this. He died. The people killed him. Some of these leaders, some of you people need to get rid of them too. They don't have no desire for you. They don't care for you. All they care is for your taxes and what you can give them. I'm talking about all over the globe. They work for those who care nothing for you either. They give them trinkets for your trillions. And you get crumbs for their trinkets. And you're doing the same as these people, eating whatever you can find. Even your field rats. And the I am answered the man of God and said, now behold, if the I am should make windows in heaven, might such a thing be? In other words, God kept his word, but how did he do it? See, it would be explainable to the investigative eye that would not account it to the Most High. It would be explained, oh, they got scared somehow. Somehow they or an enemy came and scared them off and they ran, but something happened where the enemy did not take the spoil either. See, you got people that will explain away the things that should be attributed to the Most High. All things should be attributed to the Most High. He runs this thing, not you. And the only thing that calls him to work against you is your sin. And even the sin of your enemy that comes against you, his sin comes against him. Just one never-ending thing until the Most High come with 10,000s of his anointed to end it all. And he says now, he says in the I am, he talked to him. He said, behold, now if the I am should make windows in heaven, might such a thing be? And he said, behold, thou shalt see it with thine eyes, but thou shalt not eat thereof. So what? So it fell out unto him, for the people trod upon him in the gate, and he died. God keeps his word, whether it's good or evil. You better be careful. And fear, respect unto the Most High. This is what you better respect. I'm saying it imperative that you respect it. Regardless of how much money and how many armies and nuclear bombs you got, you better respect God. Either way, the Most High, the I am, the Tata and Zambi, Sinini Nanini, the Heya, yes, Yahweh, Yahuwah, or whatever you say God in your language. Yes, respect God. Keep his commandments. And it will be peace.
Walk with me.